In my years of research, I have often been fascinated by a simple question: why do people say yes? What are the subtle, often unseen forces that guide our decisions, compelling us to agree to requests that we might otherwise decline? The answer, I've found, lies in a set of universal principles of influence. These principles act as mental shortcuts or heuristics that help us navigate the complexities of daily life. We live in an incredibly information-rich world, and it is simply impossible to analyze every single detail of every choice we face. Instead, our brains have developed automatic trigger-based responses. A click, whir reaction, much like a tape recorder playing a pre-programmed message when a specific button is pushed. These shortcuts are generally reliable and serve us well. They allow us to make good decisions quickly and efficiently, freeing up our mental energy for more demanding tasks. For example, if an expert recommends a product, we are more likely to trust that recommendation without conducting our own exhaustive research. However, these same automatic responses can be exploited. Compliance professionals, marketers, salespeople, fundraisers, politicians have learned to identify and activate these triggers. They can structure their requests in a way that plays upon our built-in psychological tendencies, increasing the likelihood that we will say yes without fully thinking through the decision. Understanding these principles is not about learning to manipulate others, but rather about arming yourself with knowledge. By becoming aware of these tactics, you can take a step back, engage your more analytical mind, and make a conscious choice rather than an automatic one. The first principle, reciprocity, is one of the most powerful and deeply ingrained social rules. It dictates that we should try to repay, in kind, what another person has provided us. If someone does us a favor, we feel a sense of obligation to return that favor in the future. This feeling can be incredibly strong, often compelling us to agree to a much larger request than the initial small gift or favor we received. Think about the free sample at the grocery store. After accepting a small piece of cheese, many people feel an awkward pressure to buy the product. The act of receiving something, no matter how small, triggers a feeling of indebtedness that we are motivated to resolve. This wiring for reciprocity is a cornerstone of human civilization, allowing us to build trust and cooperative relationships. Our ancestors who shared food and resources were more likely to survive and thrive. Marketers use it constantly, offering a free ebook in exchange for your email address. A car salesperson offering you a coffee while you browse. To defend against this, the key is to redefine the situation. The second principle, commitment and consistency, taps into our deep-seated desire to be consistent with what we have already said or done. Once we make a choice or take a stand, we will face personal and interpersonal pressures to behave consistently with that commitment. This is why salespeople often start with a very small request, a technique known as the foot-in-the-door method. For example, they might ask you to sign a petition for a cause. Later, when they return to ask for a donation for that same cause, you are far more likely to agree because you want your actions to be consistent. To protect yourself, listen to your gut. Ask yourself, knowing what I know now, if I could go back in time, would I make the same initial commitment? The principle of social proof is based on the idea that we determine what is correct by finding out what other people think is correct. When we are uncertain about how to act, we look to the behavior of others as a guide, especially when those others are numerous and similar to us. It's why producers use laugh tracks. It's why bartenders salt tip jars with a few bills. We see others doing it, so we assume it's right. This tendency is a powerful survival shortcut. Following the crowd has often been the safest bet. If everyone in your tribe ran, you ran. Don't stop to check for a tiger. Marketers use this, highlighting bestseller lists, displaying customer testimonials, showing likes and shares. To avoid blind following, pause and question the evidence. Are these people real, or are these fake reviews? Is their situation comparable to yours? A little skepticism stops the crowd leading you off a cliff. Next, liking. We're more likely to say yes to people we know and like. The causes of liking are subtle. We like people similar to us, people who compliment us, and people we cooperate with. Physical attractiveness creates a halo effect. That's why companies use attractive models and why salespeople find common ground, shared hobbies, or favorite teams. Liking works because we trust people we feel connected to. That connection can be genuine or manufactured. The classic Tupperware party combines liking and social proof. The defense is to mentally separate the requester from the request. Ask, do I like the product or just the person selling it? Decide based on the offer, not the charming package. The principle of authority describes our deep-seated sense of duty to obey authority figures. From a young age, we are taught that it's beneficial to listen to those with superior knowledge and power: parents, teachers, doctors. This conditioning is so strong that we often respond to the mere symbols of authority: titles, clothing, trappings. An actor wearing a lab coat in a commercial can be a powerful persuader for a medicinal product, even though they have no actual medical expertise. We see the coat, the click-whir response is triggered, and we defer to the perceived authority. Our reliance on authority is generally a good thing. It allows for the development of sophisticated social structures. For production, trade, social control, experts usually do know what they're talking about. The problem, however, arises when authority is faked or irrelevant. To defend yourself, ask two simple questions when confronted with an authority figure's influence attempt. First, is this person a genuine expert on this topic? Consider their credentials and whether they are truly knowledgeable in this specific domain. Second, how truthful can I expect this expert to be? Think about their potential motives. Are they likely to gain something if you comply? By critically examining both their expertise and their trustworthiness, you can decide whether their advice should be followed. The final classic principle is scarcity, which states that opportunities seem more valuable to us when their availability is limited. The thought of losing out on something is a powerful motivator. This is why advertisers use phrases like limited time offer, only a few left in stock, one day only sale. When our access to an item is restricted, a unique kind of arousal kicks in. We experience a desire to possess it that goes beyond its actual utility. This is partly due to psychological reactance, our tendency to want something more when we are told we can't have it. The scarcity principle is rooted in the simple heuristic that if something is rare or dwindling in availability, it must be good or in high demand. Marketers exploit this by creating artificial scarcity, such as limited edition products, countdown timers on websites. To counter this, you must learn to recognize the emotional rush that scarcity creates. When you feel yourself being swept up, just stop. The key is to separate your desire for the item from its actual use. Ask yourself, do I want this because of its function or simply because it is rare? By calming the emotional surge, you can evaluate the offer on its true merits. In recent years, I've added a seventh principle that I believe is crucial in our modern, interconnected world: unity. This principle is about shared identity. We are most influenced by people we consider to be one of us. It goes beyond mere similarity. Unity is about a sense of commonality, belonging to the same tribe. This can be based on family, location, like supporting a local team or business, shared experiences and beliefs. When someone says, "I'm one of you," they invoke a powerful principle that creates a bond. This we relationship makes someone a trusted advisor, not just a persuader. Politicians emphasize shared identity with constituents. Brands cultivate communities around products. The defense: be mindful when shared identity bypasses critical thinking. Ask, does the request serve the group's interests or just the speaker's? The lessons from these 7 principles are twofold. First, they reveal our vulnerability. Modern life makes us rely more on mental shortcuts. That reliance makes us susceptible to exploitation. Acknowledging vulnerability is the first step to defense. By knowing the principles of reciprocity, commitment, social proof, liking, authority, scarcity, unity, this awareness gives you time to step back before saying yes. Second lesson, optimism. Influence isn't inherently bad, it's a tool of human interaction. These principles can achieve positive, ethical outcomes. A doctor using authority can persuade a patient to follow a life-saving treatment. A charity using social proof can encourage donations by showing community participation. The goal is ethical persuasion, not elimination of influence. True influence builds honest, long-term relationships with mutual benefit. Understanding these drivers makes us discerning consumers and ethical communicators. This awareness is the first line of defense against undue influence and the first step toward making more deliberate decisions in all aspects of your life. From the products you buy to the ideas you support, it empowers you to be the one in control of your choices. Persuasion is an integral part of human interaction, shaping our relationships, our workplaces, and our societies. Every day we are both the persuaders and the persuaded. The principles of influence are constantly at play, whether we are conscious of them or not. My goal is to pull back the curtain on these powerful psychological forces, revealing how they work, why they are so effective, and how you can navigate a world where they are used with increasing sophistication.